Welcome back. This is Good Morning Namibia. Now, according to the Namibia Institute of Democracy, Namibia's bustling capital, that's Windhoek, faces significant socio-economic challenges amidst its rich cultural diversity. Many residents live in informal settlements, with street vendors playing a crucial economic and cultural role in the city. Despite their importance, these vendors face numerous obstacles, including low levels of education, limited access to markets, as well as inadequate working conditions. It is against this background that the Namibia Institute of Democracy will host the Capture project, which inter alia aims to empower Windhoek street vendors through comprehensive entrepreneurial training and civic education. With more details on this, I'm now joined this morning by Dr. Sisira Withanachi, who is from Berlin, Germany, the Internationale Cooperation Agency, the GIZ, as well as Madam Jacinta Kasume, Program Manager at the NID. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. What a mouthful. How are you doing on this gift of a Wednesday?
We're well. How are you, Denver?
Good, thank you.
Yes.
Doc, are you well too?
Yeah, of course.
All the way from Berlin?
Exactly. It's a very nice country, nice people. I'm happy to be here.
Geht es Ihnen gut?
Geht's gut.
Awesome.
Dankeschön.
Yeah. But let's please start with you. What is Capture all about? What are its aims and objectives?
Right, so Capture is a city partnership project between the city of Windhoek and the city of Berlin, and they then selected the NID as the primary civil society implementer. So Capture seeks to capacitate and upscale vendors. The city has about 22 markets under their jurisdiction, so Capture is seen as a pilot project, and once this model works, of which we hope it does, we will then implement it in the different markets that the city has.
Doc, what is your take on Capture, and is our benchmark Berlin, and how did it work there if it was rolled out there indeed?
That's very good question, sir, because 2000 and we are signing the agreement between the city of Windhoek and Berlin. So a part of that is one of the results that we are combining with our agency, Berlin International Agency, for the International Cooperation Agency. So we have worked in 1983, we started our missions to cooperate internationally and work for the betterment of the people. And under the new management director, Mrs. Nicola Humpert, we are also more focused on the global south. So that is one of the aim from we are starting the cooperation with NID and City of Windhoek to working for the Capture project. So the Capture project, as my colleague mentioned, that we're focusing on enhancement of the vendors in city. So this is one of the starting point of the cooperation.
So as a similar project being rolled out in Berlin, what are we benchmarking this project on?
Yeah, exactly. So we are now focusing on 4 countries internationally. So of course, before we work most of the European countries for our projects, but now we are working parallelly in Gambia, Nepal, Vietnam, and also also in Namibia. So our aim is having social empowerment, and because of the BGZ stand for the vocational training, and also providing more support for the small medium enterprises, and not only inside the Germany but also internationally. That is one of the aim, because our partners, so as we are BGZ International Agency, so we are independent and non-profit agency, but our institutionally we are combining with the state of Berlin and also Berlin Chamber of Small Industries and also skill craft. So that is our benchmark, and that's our aim actually work on it.
Thank you very much. Madam Kasume, 2 things can be true at the same time. So what we are saying is that Windhoek faces socio-economic challenges despite its rich cultural diversity. Please elaborate on that for us.
Right. In regards to social economic challenges, I mean, unemployment is enough, or the rate of unemployment is enough to show you that people are not making enough to meet ends meet. And when we speak about cultural diversity, the vendors play a vital role in preserving the cultural history of Namibia, right? And also keeping up with culinary traditions. And so by uplifting them and by empowering them, we're sort of, as my colleague said, these are micro business owners, and if we capacitate them and afford them adequate resources and opportunities, they can then grow and increase employment by employing other individuals such as themselves. But I feel like, yes, you're right, 2 things can be true. And even though we do suffer from socioeconomic plight or challenges, Capture is designed to address those issues by capacitating these individuals, but also allowing them to continue to preserve the cultural heritage and diversity of the city and the country.
Doctor, what do you make of the socioeconomic challenges that residents of Windhoek face?
Yeah, I mean, what we see that Windhoek has high potential. So we have a diverse community, and also it's in the rich of this cultural diversity, we could also empower the economic as well. So that's what we see that when we're looking at the vendors, and normally they are so-called marginalized social group, and they are voiceless. What the aim of that, by taking this community as also part of this economic growth, total of the Windhoek and also total of the Namibia. So they will also play a big role after this capture project. So that is the aim. And because economy is not only individual task, it's a collaborative task. And every social component, social group should be a part of that. So, and they are also gaining profit out of the tourists or the local people who buy in that, but also they are giving also the cultural proudness to the other countries. So they are not selling something, but they are selling artifact which belong to your cultural heritage, Namibian cultural heritage. That's really great, I think. That's we are acknowledging them, they acknowledge also the country and also city proudness.
Am I hearing you correctly that we're leveraging what cultural diversity has in terms of economic potential and exploring that?
Yes.
Indeed.
Yeah. I mean, Sisira, previously we went to Berlin, and that was because him being as a transnational exchange visit. So when we went to Berlin, we also saw how they set up their different vendors and how they are more established in comparison to ours. And while he was here, he had the opportunity to go to single quarters, to Soweto Market, and see how these different individuals preserve our culture and our heritage, from kapana to omahangu to all of these things. But again, they're not afforded adequate environment in order to grow and to enhance themselves and to empower themselves. And that is where capture comes in.
So what will you be doing? What does this capacity building actually entail?
Okay, so it's a mixture of entrepreneurial training and human rights training, because we know that labor law, social welfare, and all of these other topics are things that the vendors are not necessarily cognizant of, and neither do they have the proper entrepreneurial skills to uplift themselves. So we also recognize that these are business owners, they're experienced in their field, but they just need enhancement, and that is what Capture seeks to do. We have a total of 6 activities, but as we said, this is a piloting phase. We hope to continue this next year, and then duplicate or implement the same model in the different or the rest of the 21 markets that is under the city's jurisdiction.
Would you like to talk to us about the 6 activities that are lined up, Doctor?
Yeah, exactly. So what we are now currently doing the TOTs, so-called trainers, training of trainers. So because we will have in the next stage, we have the vast training programs for the vendors. So by acknowledging the level of knowledge and their experiences, we're trying to integrate the new models. And these models are like, as my colleague mentioned, like giving knowledge about business development. Because one of our basic idea about the need analysis, we try to understand what they need, because rather than what we need, what they need is what's important. We're trying to find out what they exactly need, more business, and there are more recognition in the market. So in the next stage, we are doing these tech workshops for them, and also community members. For example, a vendor, we will have also representative from this community. They will also get trained within this my visit, also our NID partners, and then after we will do also sensitization program, so that we communicate the community and also counselors in the city of Windhoek, and giving more chance for them also how we could have a more betterment for them. For example, like we are lobbying also to having a more safe place for the vendors, and that's one of the main things, that more hygiene place for them as well, and more security, and also more environment friendly place for also them. That is one of the aim of our activity. And also at the end, as my colleague mentioned, this is a pilot project, so we will try to make a more network and going for the next stage as well, and elaborate that project for maybe the other market as well. So that is some of our project activities lineup.
How many vendors will be participating in this pilot project, and were there criteria that they needed to meet in order to be a participant?
Okay, so per the project proposal, it's 40 vendors. But once we had our need analysis, we saw that not all the vendors have employees, so not all of them could attend the need analysis. So now we're incorporating the vendors from post-trade more. But the need analysis was important to see where could we better implement the project, or how could we better enhance it or enhance our activities. There's no criteria for the participants to meet. They just simply need to be vendors. We're looking at the vendors.
Even unregistered vendors?
Even unregistered vendors. So especially the ones by the Hilton parking lot, semi-mall, majority of them are unregistered, but the entire point of capture is to get them to a point where they are registered, where they are established, where they understand the importance of a business plan or having your business registered. And similar to them are the ones at Post Street Mall. There are also many of those that are not registered. So there's no criteria to meet at all. As long as you're a vendor and you are part of these two markets, we will then, or you'll be part of the capture project.
So when will the project get underway, Doctor, and how long will it run for?
Yeah, so this is the first part. So we will end of this year. So the grant is coming from, thanks to the state of Berlin, the state office for the development cooperation. They are funding for this pilot project, and then we are hope to get the grant for the next year as well. So we are elaborating that project in the next level. So these are the short-term activities. And especially we would like to also mention here our NID Managing Director Naita, and also the Chris from the city of Windhoek. So we're having a discussion about implementing new kind of like the outcomes like the certification process as well. So this will be probably our next stage to giving a more acknowledgement for their products, and also more dignity also for them, like a code of conduct, like a code of discipline, something like that for the tourists as well, probably to get to know how we have to behave as a tourist who come in for the vendors as well. So this could be our next stage. Yeah, that we will align with the next stage as we mentioned. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, madam.
To add to what Sisira said, the city of Windhoek, just the mere fact that you're willing to work with a grassroots organization just shows that they are cognizant of the challenges that the vendors are faced with, but it also shows great initiative on their part. Like, for instance, we're working with the Department of Economics and Community Services from the city, and they're the trainers, and they're best equipped to train these vendors, and they usually workshop them. So we also understand that a lot of frustration has come from the vendors' part, saying that they do not feel like the city takes them seriously enough. And Capture is here to address the fact that yes, we do take you seriously. And
you are here to capture that.
We're here to capture that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time. Good luck with the rest of the rollout of the pilot project, and may it be nothing but a resounding success.
Yes.
Thank you very much for
this opportunity. Thank you so much, Denver.
Danke für Ihre Zeit.
Vielen Dank nochmal.
The Dr. Sisira Withanachi. He's from the Berlin International Cooperation Agency, as well as Madam Jacinta Kasume, Program Manager at the Namibia Institute for Democracy, talking to us about comprehensive entrepreneurial and civic training currently underway in the pilot phase for street vendors in the capital. We'll be back after a brief break.